to that just like that, okay? I think that looks pretty good. Still a little wet, so I don't want to do too much with it. All right, so now we're going to put on the spout. So again, I hit this up with a heat air gun just a little bit just to dry it out. So now the spout is going to go on. So if you remember last time I cut it, it's still a little stuck here. So I may just recut it a little bit, just to kind of see where we're at. All right. Got a little stiff over the weekend, which is okay. But that's going to be your spout. All right. And then that's going to sit something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean this up a little bit, figure out where I want it, and I will kind of work this over just a little bit. All right, kind of softening this and kind of prepping this. All right. All right, but I think that's going to be probably pretty good for this spout. So now that I've done that, if you notice, I've put this on just like this, right? So 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock. But I'm going to turn it just a little bit because of the memory of the spout. So instead of being on 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I'm going to move it to 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And I'll demonstrate what that looks like. So this is just going to get tweaked just a little bit. So if we look at this, we can see that, right? We can see that in the spout. So now that I've gotten this, I'm going to go ahead and just cut around this. And this is going to give me an idea what that spout looks like. And then I'm going to do my slipping and scoring in here. Now, if you've got that little nice little hole puncher, that's great. I don't know where mine's at, and I just will make a big opening here. All right, so when you're making your opening, you just you want to leave a little space to attach the spout, but essentially we're just going to take a big chunk of this out. All right, so that's probably going to be pretty good. All right, everybody see that? All right. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and take my needle tool. Fettling knife works great for this. All right, and just kind of cut it out. All right. All right. And you can make this a little bit nicer, but there's your hole. All right. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just clean this up. And I'll just take my thumb and just kind of work this over, just so it looks somewhat like a circle, right? And then I'm just going to add a little bit of water to the outside, and then I'm just going to slip and score where I made that line. So I know exactly where this spout needs to go. I'm going to dip this again. All right. Everybody following me? It's getting there. Okay. And now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to dip this again. All right. And then I'm going to just slip and score this pretty well. Give it a little bit of a work over here. All right. All right. Now I just go ahead and attach it. Got to do that though. Again, I want to move this to 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock a little bit. So when it twists in the firing, when that spout twists, it doesn't look a little cockeyed on me. All right, we'll just kind of add that. So right now it's kind of looking like this. All right, now if I need a little bit of a coil of clay for that top, that doesn't sit up snug, nothing worse, I could go ahead and just put a little coil of clay in the top there. All right. I don't think I need it. I mean, it looks like a pretty good spacing up here, but hey, you just put that right there. All right, and then you just kind of mend that in. All right. And then just, take my finger, kind of just rub that a bit. And I like my little rubber tip tools for this kind of a cleanup. But we can do it without it, okay? All right. How's that look so far? Okay? All right. That looks all right, right? We'll give that a little bit of cleanup. So if we're looking at this with the lid, again, I don't want to touch this lid too much because it's still wet, but this is what we got so far. All right. All right, so now we got to put that handle on, right? So here's what I'm going to do with the handle. Now, the key to every handle is make sure you put it on center. All right. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people put it a little bit off to the side. Now, they do have teapots that have handles on the side, but there's something weird if this handle's a little bit off to the side. So I'm going to take some clay, all right, take a little bit of clay, and I'm going to go ahead and make my handle. Now, this may not be the best surface for this, but this should do the job. So I'm just going to take this, roll it into a carrot, all right. That's pretty good. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. And I want a carrot shape because I like that attachment to be a little bit bigger. So here's what I got so far. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm just going to kind of bang it flat. All right. So just by flipping it over and over and over again. And doing this on a canvas board will do you good. All right. And then now that I've gotten that, I'm simply going to pinch the sides. And this is just how I pull handles. All right, I'm going to pinch those sides. All right, and we'll do that to the other side. I just find this to be an easy way of doing it, but again, there's a lot of different ways to do this. And there's a lot of different ways to do this lid, too. Okay, so now we got that. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that. And this is what I got so far, all right? So we kind of got this. This is a little, and that should be okay. And so I'm going to take that. Again, I'm going to line it up. All right, so I know exactly where I'm slipping and scoring. So I've made a little bit of a mark there. And then I'll go ahead and slip and score. Okay, add a little bit more water. All right. That's probably good. And then I'm going to go ahead and score this. Again, I don't have this all slopped up with water. You see how the rest of it's pretty dry so far? And then I'm going to go ahead and take this and really apply a lot of pressure here. I want a nice snug fit. I want to make sure this lines up exactly with that spout. All right, and I'm just pressing it in. This is the key. Get this good and pressed in there, and do all your work ahead of time. Okay, do all your work ahead of time. All right, now we're going to take that. All right. And I am going to go ahead and start pulling. Okay, so now I've got the basic outline of the spout already there, and I'm building a little bit of lubricant. I'm going to take my hands and go like this to make it a little bit longer, and then this way, making this mark to go straight. Okay? All right? And that's going to be pretty good. And so then I just, again, I want to make sure I'm putting this on straight. So I got everything lined up, and then boom. Okay? Just move this guy over. I'm going to cut this. All right, let's kind of place that. All right, now if you look at it, that spout's a little weak, right? So if we go like this, and we just give it a little bit of a tuck here, that will help that shape out tremendously when it's flipped over, okay? Now I'm going to flip it over. It may sag back into its normal position, but you guys can see what this thing is going to look like. All right? Just so we can get an idea. But there is your teapot. Okay? Again, this is going to pop a little bit more. Okay? Okay, Mac, you can shut that off. All right, great.